welcome to week 2 of Chatting with Chia. We've got our little Chia pet here.
He's growing slowly but surely.
Yeah, he's got some little sprouts coming out. It's a little moldy, but it's getting there.
Did we ever figure out what Baby Yoda sounds like? Did you ever look it up?
Oh, yeah. So Courtney, shout out to Courtney. She told me that Baby Yoda, or the child actually, his name. Yeah.
That's why I said the child on the box.
Yeah, that's his name. He doesn't actually speak. He just makes like little baby noises.
Like gargling noises?
Yeah, like gaga, like that.
Next week we're gonna actually look it up. So
yeah.
we know what it's saying.
Hopefully that was correct. Let us know down in the comments if that is correct.
Speaking of the child, we're from the children's table today.
Yeah, we are.
Beautiful, nice smorgasbord.
These tiny little chairs.
They're way too small.
Yeah. So this week we actually have BJ coming with a little snippet of something he has on his heart. So what do you have today that you want to share with everybody?
So I was today, as you know, it's been like freezing and rainy and disgusting weather here for the past month, it feels like. And today I woke up and it was 70 degrees and sunshine, which in, late January is an anomaly.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I was like, I'm just gonna go for a quick bike ride. I'm gonna hop on my bike and go before the day gets started. And I was like riding it, and I was like a quick 15-mile bike ride.
Wait. Quick?
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, so let me just say, I've been on a bike ride before.
Yeah.
And it was maybe 8 miles. Okay. And like maybe. And I could not walk straight for a week after that because my butt hurt so bad. Like, how do you ride a bike for 15 miles?
You have like special shorts that you wear. Special keyword special. Special shorts, and they help with that. Where it doesn't hurt as bad.
Huh.
But
I always wondered.
I've also been riding. Since I was in college. I've been riding for years, and so it's cool because now I ride a lot of the same roads I rode when I was in school. And today actually I was riding up one, and it's this quick hill that's super steep. And I remember in college I used to always, there's a neighborhood about halfway up, I used to always have to pull over in there, and I would act like I was getting a phone call, because I didn't want to be like the lame guy who couldn't make it all the way up the hill on his bike.
I'm embarrassed. Oh, no.
And so I'll be sitting there on my phone, drinking a bunch of Gatorade or something. Today I was riding, and I laughed about it a little bit because I just was cruising right up it. It didn't seem like it was that hard. It just kind of seemed like another, road you ride up. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, a lot of times you come a long ways in life and you don't even realize all the steps that got you there. You don't even realize all the times where something could have set you back, something could have pushed you back, but you kept going, and you just, before you know it, you're just kind of cruising up the hill. And as I was thinking about that, I was looking back on some of the scripture I've been reading for the past week. And I'm reading through Genesis and Exodus and stuff, and I'm reading the story of Moses. And I encountered the most peculiar scripture I think I've ever read in my life, and it's in Exodus 4, and it says this, and it's talking about Moses, who at this point he's just kind of getting his commissioning from the Lord to go out and free the Israelites, and he's going in, and he's got this direction from the Lord, and he's going back to Egypt and to Pharaoh, and he's going to stand up to him. It says this, they're on their journey back, and it says, now it came about at the lodging place on the way that the Lord met Moses and sought to put him to death. Yeah.
It's God was sitting there in the mafia with his rifle.
Wait, what is that?
It's a rifle. He's just sitting there in the chair.
Yeah, well I envision, I'm those movies where I feel like it's the Godfather Mafia movies, right?
Yeah,
where you walk into the shady hotel that's on Route 66 that you pay cash with, that nobody knows exists.
Yes.
You walk in the door and there's that mafia boss sitting there with the gun on the bed.
Yeah.
And you know what's about to happen. And it just caught me so off guard because I'm why in the world would God sit here, and Moses is in the middle of his commissioning, right? Moses is in the middle of his calling, in the middle of what he's supposed to do, and the Lord is just at this point where he's about to put him to death. I started thinking about that in my own life, and I'm thinking about all this stuff that goes on that in our minds, I'm like, man, I feel like this will like disqualify me. You know, in that truest sense of maybe not like a physical death, but like a metaphorical, like I really feel like the Lord's about to quelch what I'm called to do, or the Lord's really about to silence that or to put it away. And you see this in Moses, and it's weird because it's like there's this moment where there's a quick redemption, and I was telling Ashley this earlier. It's odd because there's this moment, and then Moses goes straight into what he's called to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I think about that in our lives where the Lord is so often, he gives us, so many times, he gives us grace to keep going into what we're called to do. You know, it's no longer like we have to worry and be frantic and be like, man, the Lord is, you know, going to meet me in this hotel room and kill me kind of thing. But we get to experience day in and day out that grace to keep going into what he's called us to do. And you see this in Moses' life of, man, like, he's got some, you know, and Ashley and I were talking about this before, and we looked it up, and there's all these reasons that people think God wanted to kill him. But whatever it is, like, he has this reason, like a very definitive, like, thing that God's like, I'm going to put him to death. And yet God still says, you know what, even at that, I'm going to be gracious and I'm going to allow you to keep going. You know, and in our world, I feel like every day, Ashley and I have a conversation with someone who's like, man, I feel like I was called to do this, but all this other stuff has gotten in the way. You know, the political upheaval with, you know, everybody, the confrontations I've had with my family, with my friends, the issues I've had, you know, with social media being everywhere, with the struggles I've had with trusting people, with the loss of friends, the loss of relationships. And so often we feel like, man, I really feel like the Lord's about to pull me out of what he's called me to do. But I really feel like at the same time, God's saying to us, you know, like, I still have grace for you to keep going in that.
Yeah.
You know, we see that in Moses' life. And you know, like we kind of want to do with this, I want to encourage you with a question of what in your life do you see that you think might be holding you back, but that God's grace might still be allowing you to go through it? Or what do you think that God's still covering that will allow you to keep going in what you're called to do? Seeing maybe your friends come to know the Lord. Seeing maybe your family come to know the Lord. Maybe even just seeing yourself live a righteous life for him.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, that it's in the weirdest, most peculiar way, I really feel like the Lord, you know, is giving us this idea that we have this ability to move forward and that his grace is sufficient and that his grace will cover us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. But that's kind of like, just in a very short, I want to keep them brief, but in a short way, that's kind of where my heartbeat's been at, you know, especially with a lot of stuff going on. Kind of something really weird that I read in scripture. But yeah, do you have anything else to add?
I just want to say thank you so much for sharing.
You're like a perfect talk show host.